What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And guys, the burning question of the day is it okay for disgruntled Star Wars fans to be enjoying The Mandalorian? Now, I did a video like this in season 1 of The Mandalorian when I started noticing that there are a lot of people heavily criticizing the Fandom Menace for having something positive to say about The Mandalorian. And it's only gotten worse this season as we've seen that The Mandalorian is starting to incorporate certain aspects of the EU into their story. All right, now this has been to kind of mixed effect because they're not always lining everything up the way that it should be. And now, like with the latest episode, The Jedi, and the reintroduction of Ahsoka Tano, they're really playing it a little bit close there, with what they can get away with. And I've been listening to the criticism of this, and the criticism of the plot has translated into criticism of the fans who are accepting of this and who are still saying that they're liking what's going on with The Mandalorian. Some of our voices have been previously very critical of what Disney Star Wars has been doing, myself included. And I find myself also, though, enjoying The Mandalorian. So it's like, where do we find that middle ground, to exist between being critical of what Disney Star Wars has done and will do, and the fact that a lot of us are enjoying The Mandalorian? Well, in my opinion, I just think it's a matter of honesty. And I've talked about this before. I don't think anybody has anything to worry about as long as they're just honest with how they feel. If there's something you don't like, then, like in my case, I'm only going to speak for myself. In my case, if it's something that I don't like, you best damn well believe I'm going to say that I don't like it. If it's something that I do like, I'm going to point out the positives of why I do like it. Like with The Mandalorian, for example, I think the best way to describe it, what's been going on with The Mandalorian, to me, it reminds me of The Walking Dead. I don't know if there's any Walking Dead fans out there, but The Walking Dead has resulted in, I guess it's like two ways of watching. If you're a collector of the graphic novel by Robert Kirkman, then The Walking Dead, as one thing. And then there's the way it exists on the screen, the TV show. Anyone who's familiar with both know that there's a big difference between the Walking Dead graphic novels and the TV show. There are characters that should have died a long time ago that are still alive. There are characters that are still alive, that are dead, that still live in the graphic novel. And there are storylines that have been given to other characters that belong to different characters, back and forth in the graphic novel between TV. So it's like you're getting a strange mixture and remix of the source material that they're putting on the big screen. And as most people know, The Walking Dead has found huge success over the years. I say some of this success is kind of waning a little bit now, argumented, that can be up for debate. But, that's just the fact of the matter. Now, what you have with The Mandalorian, I believe, is the same phenomenon. I think that you have Star Wars where it used to say that they were going to ignore the source material. They were going to ignore the EU. They were going to act like it didn't exist. And now, because of, I guess, Dave Filoni and Favreau, it's like they're dipping into that world, to take inspiration for these remixed stories that they want to do. So you're going to see familiar characters from the EU brought to life, but it's not going to be necessarily faithful to the source material. And those people out there that I call Star Wars scholars, they're going to recognize it, because what it does is it runs the risk of messing with the timeline and the lore that's already been established. So I see the criticism, I understand the criticism, but we're going forward regardless of the criticism. And I'm starting to wonder now, what they're saying is true. There is a violation going on here. There is a desecration in a way going on here when it comes to the original work and the source material. The only question that there is how much does it matter at this point, when it comes to what we're seeing on the screen. It's not going to change the lore. It's not going to change what's already been established in the EU, but it's clearly a different spin or a different interpretation on the familiar works that we already know, who have delved into the deeper world of lore and legend. So that is the way I see it. It's like, are you going to continue to point this out? And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're someone who, like is a hardcore, lore fan and everything, and a scholar, are you going to continue to be dismayed by what's going on to the point where you just cannot enjoy this work and you're going to reject it flat out? Or are you somebody who's going to enjoy the expanded universe or extended universe? You're someone who's going to enjoy the lore and enjoy the legend and also enjoy what they're doing with this show, and in a way just understand that it's just a different interpretation of it. You know what I mean? It's a challenge, because I know that if I were that Star Wars scholar, I'm just primarily films and a few comic books, like I said before. But if I were that scholar, I know that that challenge would be on me, Like, I'm thinking to myself, I know one thing backwards and frontwards, I know the lore and everything on this side of it, and I see what they're doing over here. But if what they're doing over here is actually entertaining, then is there a way to enjoy that, knowing that they're twisting what came before? You know what I'm saying? It's like that would be the challenge. That would be the question. Is there a way to do that, to actually enjoy it almost separately? Because the difference here, of course, people are acting like there's a hypocrisy here with how we received The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, stuff like that. But for me personally, the difference is I was not entertained by The Last Jedi. I was mildly entertained by The Force Awakens. The Last Jedi completely lost me. The Rise of Skywalker was the same. It's like I got no use for the entire trilogy as a result of that. No entertainment value whatsoever. With The Mandalorian, if I would have to be honest, it has consistently entertained me. Now the question is, like I said before, is the trade-off worth it? To suspend your criticism of the clear and undeniable violation of lore and continuity. Is it worth it to enjoy what they're giving us now? So far, they could completely go off the tracks, and then, of course, the purists would be like, see, well, I told you, and then the rest of us would be guilty. But at least we enjoyed the ride while it was going on. You know what I mean? With like I said, the other example with the Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, no such enjoyment whatsoever. So ultimately, that is the challenge for each of us, Star Wars fans. No one can tell you what to enjoy or what not to enjoy. You recognize the reasons for those who are objecting to this, which I do, because they're valid. I understand, the downright anger, when you see characters are supposed to exist one way, and you see somebody playing games with it, it kind of takes you out of the world that you've been in for a very, very long time, if you're deep into the lore, so like I said, every individual has a choice to make. Can you enjoy The Mandalorian? I don't know. You can get in the comment section and let me know how you feel about all of this. I mean, this is clearly a debate that's going to go on back and forth for a while. So sound off. And as always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. You can catch me on Twitter. As always, I will leave the link in the description box. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to me babble. I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.